This is finally the Dallas Cowboys year. That phrase has been said for many years now, yet every season they continue to fail to meet expectations. Cowboys fans are often made fun of for believing that, but the past couple of seasons really should have been theirs. But before I go over why 2022 should also be Dallas's year, why do you think the Cowboys have been so disappointing? Comment your thoughts down below and I'll be sure to respond. When you take a look at the Cowboys roster, it is loaded, honestly. And that's what makes it so confusing as to why they disappoint every year. A lot of times you don't have enough talent to win. But in this case, that's not true. I mean, just look at the quarterback with Dak Prescott. He is, in my opinion, close to a top 10 quarterback. And then, going to running back, you have Ezekiel Elliott, who has gotten a lot of hate recently, but it's undeserving. Zeke has been great ever since his rookie season. And in this past season, he came down with an injury, which he played through, starting all 17 games. But he still had 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns on 4.2 yards per carry, which are great numbers, by the way. And Tony Pollard, who is really good as well, people say is better than Zeke. That's a little bit of a gray area for me, but he's great nonetheless. Going over to the wide receiver position, they traded Amari Cooper, which is a little bit of a head scratcher. He made a lot of money, but they didn't really get anything for him. They traded him to Cleveland to pair with, well, not Deshaun Watson probably. Most likely going to be Jacoby Brissett now. Good job, Cleveland. So you have CeeDee Lamb now instead of Amari Cooper. Michael Gallup, who is really solid and was their third wide receiver last year, which is a great third wide receiver. But now he'll jump up to the number 2 spot. They drafted Jalen Tolbert this past draft, who has a lot of potential, and we'll get to probably see it unlocked, hopefully, by Dak Prescott. And heading over to tight end, Dalton Schultz has been great, but they drafted Jake Ferguson, who has been a standout at camp, supposedly, so we might get to see something from him. And the offensive line, the one thing that Dallas has always had since their Super Bowls back in the 90s, a great offensive line, headlined by Zach Martin and Tyron Smith, who are just phenomenal. And the defense, a lot of question marks sometimes, but they do have a solid core on defense. DeMarcus Lawrence in the defensive line is a great defender, very good edge rusher. Dallas also has Dante Fowler Jr., who is by no means bad, but when you compare it to somebody like Von Miller, he's not as good. Which, speaking of Von Miller, the Cowboys could have had him apparently. Von Miller spoke and said that he would have gone to Dallas for less money, but never seemed to get an offer. It would have been very crazy to see Von Miller in a Cowboys uniform, but I guess we'll never get to see it now. You have Leighton Van Der Esh. He's been injured a lot, but when he plays, he is really, really good. He just doesn't really play. And obviously, Micah Parsons is out of this world, lights out. He wants to break the sack record this year. I can't criticize him for saying that because I really think Micah Parsons, he could do it. He is a beast. And the secondary is a little more shaky. Trayvon Diggs, filled with controversy this past year. Is he good? Is he not? Is he even top 10? A lot of people don't think, but a lot of people do think he's the best. But he's good, I will say that. He is a great ball hawking corner. And then they have people like Malik Hooker and Anthony Brown to round out the secondary who aren't flashy. They're just all right players. So Dallas is definitely a little lacking in the secondary. So that was a quick rundown of this roster. You see there's nothing wrong with the roster. It is right up there with maybe some of the best in the NFC. Looking at it, the teams I can only think that are better are the defending champ LA Rams and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Cowboys are in the NFC East, which right now they seem to be the best team in that division, but Philly could overtake them by the end of this season. Who knows? They've added a lot of talent. But right now, I'm taking Dallas still. When you compare the NFC East to a division like the AFC West, Dallas has it easy. And by the way, if you want to see a breakdown of the AFC West, you can click this video right there to go watch it. So Dallas really should be able to own the NFC, but can they? We say this a lot of times every year. They come out, look pretty good, and then kind of fade out by the end of the season, or they make the playoffs and then get bounced. They need to get over the hump. So 2022 should be the Cowboys' year to lose in the NFC, but again, this is said almost every year, and it's proven wrong every single time. Only time will tell, so maybe this year, it is the Cowboys' year. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, share this video with your friends, and that's all from me.